Hi, everybody. We're so glad to be here today. Ciao, Verissimo. Ciao, Silvia. And ciao, Italia. I want to introduce everybody that's on here with us in case you may not know them. First, there's Ronn Moss, who has played Ridge for many, many, many years. And then there's John McCook, who is Eric Forrester on The Bold and the Beautiful currently. Still, and Susan Flannery. This is horrible. Let me try this again.
Susan, I want to say how lovely it is to see you. I think about you so often. We've been meaning to come up and visit you, but we just haven't been able to schedule it. But how wonderful it is to see you, sweet girl.
Honey, it's great to see you. I haven't seen you, you know how long?
I don't want to know. You seriously?
Yeah.
How long?
8 years in October.
Oh my God.
I've seen Dawn a couple of times. I've seen Catherine because she comes to visit me every once in a while, but I haven't seen Ron since he and I left the show. On behalf of all of us, we just want to pay homage to all of the fabulous first responders in Italy that saved so many lives. And as a nation, you went through such a horrific period. To all the doctors, the nurses, the morgue people, the drivers, the people that take care of everybody in Italy, we salute you.
We do.
Yes, very much.
And God bless everybody in Italy that's been going through this and lost loved ones and lost people they knew. It's been a difficult time for everyone, but it's so bad for Italy at first. And so we support you. We support you a lot. God bless.
No matter how much time goes between all of us, and time just passes so quickly, but I feel that because we worked together for so long on the show and we had such a great bond and we are all the original characters, that I feel like no time has passed between us, because
True.
It just has that feeling of being connected and that history and that family. So
It's
That's
so true.
The 25 years that we all spent together there, from the very beginning, the journalists are always asking, what was it like the first day on the set, and I can remember that, but it was that first year or so that was so exciting for all of us to play these characters and to try to invent who we were. Those wonderful years with Bill Bell Sr. and Brad writing those scripts, it was a pretty exciting time for all of us.
And I think we were so fortunate that the four main characters of the show were there all those years together. It just became like slipping on a glove when you'd go to work, something, I don't know.
did you guys watch the 5,000th episode that aired this week?
No, is that where we all went to the cabin?
Yes.
Oh my God, no.
Just us four for the whole show. Remember that?
Really?
Yeah, that was great. The pillow.
I do.
And Eric and Stephanie, you guys were upstairs having a pillow fight and all the
That's
feathers
right.
came out. And then Ron and I were spying on you from the ladder. I don't know why we were doing that.
Yeah, I know, you went outside,
doing that.
you peeked in the window from a ladder, and I remember saying, what the hell?
And then
We're like voyeurs. It's like, how weird can you get?
Peeking in on your mother.
I think I actually did one of those eyes burning things, like, oh no, my eyes are burning. I can't unsee that now.
Oh God.
that's what you said. You did say that.
Susan, can I tell everybody the first moment we actually met on the soundstage? We're getting ready to shoot some promotion stuff. And I walked in and just did a big, grandiose, hello, mother. And you turned to me, you didn't smile or anything. You said, don't call me mother. You didn't even smile or laugh, and I just went, whoa, okay. But after the fact, it made me laugh big time because it's a shock. It's a big shock to the system, right?
I'm wondering what she wanted you to call her then.
Call me Susan, but don't call me Mother.
I think she probably even said that, I went, okay, got it.
I was thinking this morning about Darlene Conley playing Sally, And you remember all the crazy things that Bill Bell would come up, with her in all these wild outfits and supposedly in hiding. And we'd all have to stand there and pretend we didn't know that it was Darlene Conley in this.
Yes. Yes.
My favorite scene, though, with you and her was that drunk scene where she was cutting your hair.
Oh, she cut my hair off. Yeah.
That was hysterical.
That was great.
You guys were flat out drunk and plain drunk.
Right.
And it was just the funniest scene I've ever seen.
Go ahead, Susan.
I was just going to say, I was remembering, it just crossed my mind when we first broke on the air in Italy. They had the guy I think he was like the vice president of the Italian network. I can't remember. And he came and he was there on the stage with us. And he said to me, Susan, he said, "This is so big." And I said, "Really? How big?" He said, "Bigger than Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor." And I said, "Oh. Well, I guess that's big." but remember, just explosive in Italy. It was like Greece and Italy and all those places. But here we are celebrating 30 years on the air in Italy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, it doesn't. That's wow. That doesn't seem possible. 30 years.
Italy has always been really good to beautiful, and we've had a real symbiotic relationship for so long. And I think Italy was one of the main countries that kind of introduced B&B and beautiful to the world, to making it where we felt real comfortable with that international audience, right?
Well, also, Bold and Beautiful being based in Hollywood, in Los Angeles, and then around the fashion industry. And of course, Italy is known for fashion. And of course, they're bold and beautiful and glamorous and passionate and know how to live life. So that makes a good mix. And then we started doing all the remotes over there, which was incredible. Was Lake Como the first?
I believe
I don't know, but it was the best.
I think it was. I think Lake Como.
Well,
Lake Como was the first. Yeah, I think it was.
Remember how many, the whole entire cast went. We had that huge fashion show on the lake. We had such a huge crew there. It was incredible for the very
I remember we all stayed at the Villa d'Este, which really would have been closed down for the season, I think, but they stayed open for us. But even if they didn't, we all stayed there. It was we were hosted so beautifully by the Italian network and by the hotel. It was a very glamorous shoot for all of us.
And the most important thing for me about that time was my first glass of limoncello.
Oh, we had it at that little restaurant, around the corner.
And homemade limoncello. They just
homemade limoncello. I first sampled it like this. Ugh. Ugh. God. Within 10 minutes, I literally couldn't get enough. I was hooked. Kelly, you still look as beautiful as ever. First day, I remember you. I remember that first day of seeing you come in all disheveled in the scene. You come in the doorway and you back up against your door. That's the first time people actually see you there. And I was there watching it. And it was a wonderful, wonderful moment. It stuck in my mind so clearly. I watched all of our first scenes, but that for your character that I didn't even know I would be involved with later.
Right.
I had no idea. You were one of the other cast members, a very small cast that we had back then. But it was a wonderful moment, and it affected me just watching that scene.
Well, it was an intense scene to start out the show.
It was a very intense scene, and I didn't look at you going, "Oh, she's just the actor in the part." It's like I was watching TV, and I was only standing, 10 feet back, but it was wonderful.
That's nice. And then the first scene we had together was, I think, in the party at the Forrester House mansion, right? And I was a caterer, and you were all dressed up and looking suave and debonair, just fabulous. And then did you connect with somebody? And I turned. And
you just turned around, and I was there, and we caught the eyes, and that was the beginning of that whole thing.
That was it.
Cue the violins. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. It was such a great first moment that has carried on for so long, you know. So it's
That
The
was
little girl from the valley that,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. And you
Yeah.
know what? I had a great respect for that. I had a respect for our characters, for the difference of our characters and how they would grow into what they became.
Because you mean the guy from the rich family and then the girl from the valley.
Yeah, I mean, it was a real Prince Charming and the Cinderella story type of thing. And I had such a great respect, and Bill Bell was wonderful at carving out this wonderful story that lasted ultimately, for me, 25 years. Go
One of my
ahead, Susan.
favorite, excuse me, visual moments on the show was when we went to Palm Springs and Brooke and Eric got married for the first time. And they took off, you remember, in that fabulous balloon that you went up, you ascended into the sky with? Don't you remember how fabulous that was?
It was incredible because, and then John and I were in the balloon, and the balloon went so high in the sky, we could see all the way to Los Angeles. I mean, it was crazy, right, John?
No, it was crazy. And there was a cameraman at our feet under a tarp, so he could get up and shoot stuff and then hide again. And wasn't there a pilot? A guy, you know, there was a guy.
I hope there was a pilot.
Well, they had the helicopter going around us.
That's right.
And they kept going, let's do it again, let's do it again. And we kept going higher and higher. And John and I are looking at each other like,
oh my God, we're drifting away. Kiss her again. All right, I'll kiss her again. And then, but I was going, we're drifting away here.
You kept saying that.
You know.
You kept saying they're never going to find us.
No. I remember how much, especially in the very beginning, the first year that we were on, it was all about Ridge. It was all about Ronn Moss and the pictures of Ron and all this stuff. And that was great. He was a big part of our popularity at that time. And so I imagined that you know, if we took a plane and the entire cast crashes into the Alps and they're lost forever, and at the bottom it would say Ronn Moss. Okay.
Oh, John, you had told me that story. You made me laugh so much.
I know. Every time you tell that story.
You made me laugh so much when you first told me that. And I don't know. We have so many moments. I literally cannot remember most of those great moments, and I remember them at weird times. At weird times, they want a cute little story, and I go, oh, which one? Which one? Physically being slapped on the show became very popular because of Miss Susan, because of Stephanie. Stephanie was the consummate slapper on the show. And if you were assigned to get slapped in a scene, we all had to coach that person, whoever it was, other than Kelly and me. I think I got slapped once, but Kelly got it.
Yeah, because Susan would say, like, I'm really going to slap you. I mean, I think in the beginning, like when we first had to do this, she's like, I'm really going to slap you. So just go with it. Like, okay, but she would say, but I'm going to, hit you, but I'm going to slide off your cheek, but it's going to look good. And we're going to just go with it. We can do fine. And so ever since that first slap, I mean, it ended up to be so popular. People loved the combativeness of Stephanie and Brooke and the rivalry. And they just wanted to see those slaps. So I think Susan was slapping me like every other day. Sometimes multiple times. And not just slapping. It would be slapping, choking me with a telephone wire or with my boa when I'm supposed to do a sexy scene with Ridge. Something and chokes me with a boa, red boa. She held a gun on me quite a few times. She held a knife on me. She threw me over a couch. What else, Susan? A shotgun.
Well, my favorite was throwing a knife at you.
Oh, yeah. Susan, in honor of your wonderful quote, Slut from the Valley.
Oh, fabulous.
Slut from the Valley.
Thank you, Italy, for supporting and watching the bold and the beautiful, or beautiful, all these years.
All these years, yes.
Yes.
Grazie.
Grazie. Hi, I'm Katherine Kelly Lang, and I play Brooke Logan on The Bold and the Beautiful.
I'm Ronn Moss, AKA Ridge Forrester.
And I'm John McCook. I play Eric Forrester on The Bold and Beautiful.
I'm Susan Flannery, and they used to call me Stephanie Forrester.
The four of us are getting back together on TV.
For the first time in a long time.
And that's to celebrate our 30th anniversary on The Bold and Beautiful.
And it's going to be fun, fun, fun. So join us.